For 10 years, he cleaned the same hallways. Students walked past him, ignored him. Teachers politely greeted him, went about their business. David Johnson was just the school janitor, 69 years old, quiet, humble. Until the day the school alarm sounded. While everyone was panicking and running, he stopped, took responsibility for the children's safety. And at that moment, everyone realized, this man wasn't just a custodian. Marine Force Recon is never forgotten. Welcome to the Silent Service Stories. Tell us what city you're watching from, and don't forget to subscribe. Coronado High School, in the beautiful coastal city of San Diego, was one of California's most prestigious high schools. Its modern buildings, spacious campus, and ocean view classrooms housed thousands of students. In the quiet corners of this bright academic environment, a man worked who caught no one's attention. David Johnson. At 69 years old, medium height, his gray hair always neatly combed and his custodial uniform always spotless. His daily routine hadn't changed for 10 years. He would arrive at school at 6:30 a.m., clean the hallways, prepare the classrooms, work until 3:30 p.m., then quietly go home. Students called him Mr. Johnson, but most of the time they ignored him. He seemed like an ordinary school employee. But David Johnson's past was far different than anyone walking those quiet hallways could ever imagine. In his custodial closet, there were things most people never saw: an old Marine uniform, a Force Recon badge, and memories from another time. David Johnson had served 22 years in Marine Corps Force Reconnaissance. Force Recon was the Marines' most elite unit, tasked with special operations, deep reconnaissance missions, and the most dangerous assignments. He had served in Vietnam, Grenada, and the Middle East. He had led men, saved lives, made decisions under pressure. But now he was just the school janitor, and this was his choice. After David retired, he realized he had no children. Military life had kept him away from family. But when he started working at Coronado High School, he realized there were thousands of children here, and they needed him. Not just as custodial service, but as protection. Every morning when David came to school, he wasn't just cleaning. He was conducting security checks, examining every corner, identifying potential threats. But nobody noticed this. To them, he was just Janitor David. The students loved him, but they were never close. "Hello, Mr. Johnson," they would say, and pass by. Teachers would chat politely, talk about the weather. Principal Williams showed him respect, said he was satisfied with his work. But nobody wondered about his past. For David, this was good. He wanted an ordinary life. He no longer wanted the stress, responsibilities, and weight of military life. Seeing the children at school, hearing their laughter, knowing they were building their futures made him happy. But sometimes the students' behavior worried him. They didn't take school security seriously enough. They were lax during fire drills, didn't care about emergency procedures. David saw these things but didn't intervene. He was just the janitor. That Tuesday morning, everything started like it was normal. David came at 6:30, cleaned the main entrance, swept the hallways. Students began arriving at 7:45 with their backpacks, their laughter, their youthful energy. David greeted them, quietly continued his work. At 10:30 a.m., while math classes were continuing, the school alarm system began to sound. But this wasn't the fire alarm. This was a lockdown alarm, security threat alarm. Students and teachers knew what to do. Lock classroom doors, turn off lights, stay away from windows. But the alarm kept ringing, and there was no announcement from the PA system. David was cleaning the second-floor hallways at that time. When he heard the alarm, he froze. But this wasn't just a drill. This was a real threat. His old instincts kicked in. He left his cleaning cart and ran to the hallways. Students were locked in classrooms, but some areas were left empty: the library, cafeteria, gym, and these areas were vulnerable. David ran to the main office. Principal Williams was there, calling the police. "Mr. Johnson, you should go somewhere safe too," said Williams. "Principal Williams, I can help." "No, Mr. Johnson, this isn't your job, for your safety." But David wasn't listening anymore. He went out to the hallways, began making his own security assessment, and there he saw something that stopped his heart. 6 students were trapped in the cafeteria. Students who were there when the lockdown alarm came had panicked and didn't know what to do. They had tried to lock the doors, but the cafeteria doors didn't have an automatic locking system. And now they were standing there, defenseless, frightened. David assessed the situation. These children weren't safe. They were standing as open targets. David made his decision. He entered the cafeteria, keeping his voice low as he approached the children. "Hey, I'm Mr. Johnson. Stay calm." When the children saw him, they relaxed a little. That was the familiar, reliable janitor, Mr. Johnson. "Mr. Johnson, what's happening?" asked Emma, an 11th grade student. "Security problem, but I'll keep you safe." David examined the cafeteria layout. There were 3 exits, but only the back exit was really safe. The main entrance and side door were too exposed. "Listen," said David, his voice now coming out in a different tone. This wasn't the janitor's voice, it was the commander's voice. "I'm going to take you to the back exit, single file, quietly, no talking." The children looked at him. There was an authority in Mr. Johnson's voice they had never heard. Are you sure, Mr. Johnson?" asked Jake, the basketball team captain. David looked at him, determination in his eyes that the children had never seen. "Yes, trust me." He organized the children, gave them positions, made a route plan. As they moved, David walked in front, scanning the environment, analyzing every sound. The children followed behind him, but they were affected by David's behavior. This wasn't Mr. Johnson, this was someone else. When they reached the back exit, David stopped. Before opening the door, he checked outside, made sure it was safe. "Now run to the safe zone. I'll stay behind." "But Mr. Johnson, you come too." "No, there might be other children. I need to check them." Emma stopped him. "Mr. Johnson, you never told us who you are." David looked at her, experiencing a moment of indecision. Then he smiled. "I'm just someone who cares about your safety." After the children went to the safe zone, David returned to the school. He checked other areas: library, laboratories, music room. Everywhere students and teachers were safely locked in, but David checked them one by one. When he came to the gym, he found another group of students there, 9 children, left there during the lockdown, not knowing what to do. Coach Martinez wasn't there. The children were left on their own. David repeated the same procedure. He organized them, showed them the safe route, evacuated them under protection. This time, the children looked at him differently. This wasn't just janitor Mr. Johnson. This was a leader. An hour later, police came and secured the school. It turned out to be a false alarm, technical malfunction. But what David did was real. That day, Principal Williams called David to his office. "Mr. Johnson, what you did today was incredible. How did you know what to do?" David was silent for a long time. Then he went to his custodial closet and took out his old Marine uniform. "Principal Williams, I'm David Johnson, Marine Force Reconnaissance, 22 years of service." Williams' mouth fell open. You're a Marine officer?" "Former. But these children are still my mission." From that day on, the atmosphere at school changed. Students looked at David differently. He was no longer just the janitor, he was the protector. Teachers showed him respect. Principal Williams made him a security consultant, but David still did the same job. He cleaned hallways, prepared classrooms. The only difference was, now nobody ignored him. Emma approached him one day. "Mr. Johnson, do you have any children?" David smiled. "No, Emma, but I have thousands of children here." "Are we your children?" David looked at her, paternal warmth in his eyes. "Yes, and I will always protect you." Jake, the basketball captain, asked him, "Mr. Johnson, why don't you ever talk about the military?" "Because, Jake, the past stays in the past. What matters is now, and now I'm here for you." A week later, the school conducted a fire drill. But this time, David didn't just watch, he organized. Students listened to his commands, followed procedures. The fastest and safest evacuation in school history took place. That night, as David was going home, he looked at himself in the mirror. For 10 years, he had just been existing. Now he was living. Because he had a purpose, to protect these children. The next morning when he came to school at his usual early hour, But this time as he cleaned the hallways, when students saw him, they didn't just say, "Hello, Mr. Johnson." "Good morning, Major Johnson," they said. David corrected them for the first time. "Just Mr. Johnson is fine, kids." But there was pride inside. He was no longer hidden. He was no longer invisible. He was Marine Force Recon, and he was these children's protector. Because sometimes people only see you when they need you. But real protectors are always there, waiting, even when unseen, and they spring into action when necessary. David Johnson had been invisible for 10 years, but when children were in danger, he was no longer invisible. He was the guardian angel, he was the Force Recon officer, and most importantly, he was their protector. What do you think David's story teaches us? How many hidden protectors might be around us? We'll continue to tell stories of these guardian angels on the Silent Service Stories. Write in the comments what city you're watching from, and don't forget to subscribe to not miss the stories of silent protectors.